when it comes to having a teenager or a tween, it can be so tempting for our teens to blame us for just about everything that goes wrong in their life. And it can be equally as tempting to be the one apologizing for that, or saying like, trying harder to please them, or letting them even get away with blaming us for like the shoes that weren't in the right bag or that they needed, or the, whatever went wrong. They have a way of kind of looking at you and being like, Mom, and next thing you know, you're like, the kid assumes that I did something wrong, and therefore, in a way, I think I do too. But we don't actually have to carry other people's loads, especially when it's their load of responsibility. When my kid finds that they don't have something that they need, or something's out of whack or out of place, their knee-jerk reaction is to look at me and blame me. The question is it my knee-jerk reaction? If I'm healthy, I will probably own my part. If I promised I would do that for you and then I didn't, I'll own my part. But I am not the default person to blame for everything that doesn't show up in your bag properly or doesn't flow naturally or well for you. So when my kid kind of goes, God, Mom, you didn't even pack my lunch correctly, or whatever it is, and they're blaming you for something that they very much can do on their own, take a step back. When we carry other people's loads, our kids' loads, our kids will get confused as to actually who is truly accountable for their life. If we are the one who then fixes that kind of load or whatever thing that went wrong, and then we turn and fix it and apologize for it, we continue building on the myth that it's all our fault when their life doesn't work out just right. So then we sort of assume the role of being the person to blame. So I want you to stop allowing yourself to be the one to blame unless you made a promise that something was supposed to happen on your watch that didn't happen. If something just fell apart in your teenager's life and they're inclined to blame you, feel free to step away and say, I don't accept blame for that. I didn't make you a promise about your lunch or about your soccer cleats. That's your life. I'm not going to carry that load for you. That's your load. I'm sorry it didn't work out for you. Sounds really uncomfortable and frankly inconvenient that you didn't have the shoes you needed. Please, though, don't let me be your punching bag. So you own where your life is falling apart, but I'm not at fault. So I just think it's really important that we internally are not just saying that, but internally we know that it was not our fault. We are comfortable taking a breath and going, was that my fault? No, that's my kid's life. They have to be able to get their life together. That's everything they're doing from about age 12 to age 18. There's only 6 years in there. It takes every bit of 6 years to get your life together, to get all your pieces in place and show up on time. And so much of it is going to be a crash and burn. And so many of those moments, they're going to look at you and say, God, Mom, Dad, I can't believe you didn't blah, blah, blah. And you're going to take a breath, step back and say, hold up. That's your life. That's your bag. And I made you no promises about packing it for you. However, if you would like to make sure that your life flows smoothly next time, what can you do to fix it? So we're just handing back that load to them anytime they're starting to blame you for something that went wrong in their life.